Hello there, private practice owners. This is Lisa Wozniak with Woz Marketing, coming at you with another episode of Private Practice Owners of the Month, where we celebrate practitioners who are thinking outside of the box and going against the grain to market themselves and their practices for those that they serve. So we are fortunate enough today to have with us Cassidy Russell. Cassidy is a mental health professional who has found a very unique way of reaching her clients and impacting their lives by reaching out and touching them on common ground. So Cassidy, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We are so thrilled to have you here. And your practice is therapy for nerds, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
tell me, how did you come across the idea of therapy for nerds of all names?
Well, I am a nerd myself. So I noticed when I was working with teenagers when I was an associate that this nerdy knowledge that I had was actually really beneficial in building that rapport. And so when I started moving into private practice, I started realizing like, oh, hey, yeah, this is something that kids actually really want to see me for in particular. They don't want to see like old guys or whatever. They want to be able to talk about the latest episode of Steven Universe. They want to be able to talk about what they thought of the last Star Wars movie, which, yeah, some people would be able to do, but I have a pretty good hold of that niche.
Well, I think that's so brilliant because, you specialize in working with teens. And the thing that's so great about that is, you don't have the Freudian kind of approach of some staunch psychologist sitting on a hard chair going, well, tell me how you feel. I mean, when it comes to teens, there is no quicker turnoff than that, right?
Oh, definitely. Especially for teenagers. Teenagers are not having the blank slate. If you try that, they will be out the door so fast.
So you found a really unique way of reaching them. We actually, our listeners should note that Cassidy and I actually met on Instagram, which all by itself I think is fantastic because at the point that you and I met, there weren't a whole lot of mental health professionals hanging out on Instagram. That's changed since then. But so right away, I was like, oh, this girl gets it. She really gets it. And then you did an episode. So listeners, hang in there with me as I muddle my way through it. And Cassidy, jump in if I start screwing this up. But you did an analysis of a cartoon called BoJack Horseman and how the implications of that show related to people in everyday life psychologically. Am I getting that right?
Yes, I've been doing that with a few other shows as well, but for BoJack Horseman in particular, I showed how to make your own family genogram, and just the implications of the family history BoJack has had with his mother having severe depression and all the substance use that's in his family and how that's been passed down to BoJack and how it's affected BoJack in his adult life and how he's become an adult with severe substance use and depression and anxiety, and he's having a really rough time. This latest season, he was shown to get some help, and I'm hoping that continues to this last season that's about to air.
Oh, it was just fantastic. So I think that you had posted a small clip of that on your Instagram account and then had a link to your YouTube channel. Kudos to you, by the way, for doing that, which had a link to your YouTube account where you had several other of those kind of videos, some with different types of cartoons, different mental health challenges, and different approaches to the same subject. So what I loved so much about that is not only are you able, like right away, to cut through a lot of that stuff with a teenager, which would be really difficult to do,
Mhm.
but the parents can go to your YouTube channel
Mhm.
and witness your approach
Yeah.
in in process, which I think is fantastic. So how did you come across the idea of putting this whole thing together? I know that you had said that you were looking for a way of reaching
Mhm.
teens, but how did you come across this particular approach to it?
So I personally really love watching like theory videos on different cartoon shows or whatever shows. And I also love watching video essays on shows. So I just thought, you know what, why couldn't I do the same for mental health? And so I looked all around YouTube to try to find someone that was doing something along the lines of what I wanted to do. And I couldn't find anything. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just have to be the first.
Born out of necessity, you're a pioneer. That's fantastic. So here's the $1 million question though. What kind of an impact is this having when you decided to go ahead and create this, since there wasn't a whole lot out there in the marketplace?
Mhm.
How was this met with your clients, this approach?
Well, my Instagram in particular has gotten a lot of buzz, and then I have it linked to my website. So when clients see my website, they see my last 6 posts on Instagram. And so I've had clients that are like, "Oh yeah, I saw that you had a Steven Universe quote on your Instagram, on your YouTube, on your on your website." So like I knew I wanted to pick you. And
Oh, that's fantastic.
yeah, and I mean, I know a lot of therapists have like very standard Brene Brown quotes, and there's nothing wrong with Brene Brown quotes. I love a good Brene Brown quote, but it's not very personal in most cases, whereas mine I find to be very personal, and it's something that a lot of kids can really identify as like, oh hey, she likes that show that I like, I can talk about that. And that's a safe topic that we can talk about within the first few sessions to build that rapport until they feel safe to let me know what else is going on in their lives.
Yeah, huge icebreaker, right?
Yes, huge icebreaker. And it just already has that sense of relief before the first session because it's so anxiety provoking for these teenagers to come into therapy and not know what to expect. And so if they have that idea of like, oh, she gets it.
So I would I would imagine that once word of this amongst teens started getting out, you likely have referrals from their friends and, people in the same school district and outside of the school district as well,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to one of my clients and they were like, "Oh, by the way, you've become a meme in my friend group now." And I was like, "My life goals are complete. I'm a meme now."
Oh my
And
God,
they're
that is
like, "Yeah,
fantastic.
whenever someone's having a rough day, we're just like, no, what would Cassidy
What
say?"
would Cassidy do, right?
Yeah.
WWCD, what would Cassidy do? That's
Yep.
fantastic. Oh my gosh. So, um, if you don't mind my saying, you now have, aside from this following that you've got, you've branched out into some other really cool things, like speaking as well, right? So word of this is getting around.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm excited to start building on top of this and start doing the next thing, which I think is going to be a, some speaking engagements in the future. And I will definitely keep everyone posted on that when it happens.
Fantastic. So the goal then would be to teach this approach to other practitioners.
Yes,
Awesome.
definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, because I mean, with the group of teens that you've been able to help, imagine if there were a bunch of other practitioners doing the same thing. Imagine what that would mean to the youth of America. I just think it's
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. So, with all of that in mind, Cassidy, for people who want to learn more about what you do, or book you for a speaking engagement or find out where your next one is so that they can come watch you, what is the best way for people to reach you and follow you?
So I have my website. It has literally everything on there. It has, I think it even has my LinkedIn. But that's just therapyfornerds.com. You can find me on Instagram. I think I'm pretty much most active on Instagram. I have a Twitter, not as good about Twitter, but Instagram is definitely my sweet spot. So if you want to go and follow me, and I had to do licensed therapy for nerds because unfortunately on Instagram and Instagram only, therapy for nerds was taken. So I had to add something to it.
What did you add for Instagram?
Licensed therapy for nerds.
Licensed therapy for nerds. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. We'll have to put that down along the bottom as well for people
Mm-hmm.
to be able to see. And for parents who want to see samples
Mm-hmm.
of your work with the videos
Mm-hmm.
that you've created, what is your YouTube channel?
It is Therapy for Nerds.
Okay, so that's youtube.com/therapy for nerds.
Yep.
Okay. Listen, Cassidy, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your brilliance with us. I just so appreciate practitioners who are able to think outside the box, embrace an idea, and just run with it. And it's certainly paid off for you. So congratulations on all your success.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely our pleasure. So, folks, this is Lisa Wozniak with Woz Marketing with another episode of Private Practice Owner of the Month, where we are celebrating Cassidy of Licensed Therapy for Nerds at therapyfornerds.com. All right, thank you. And we look forward to coming to you again with another episode of Private Practice Owners of the Month. This is Lisa Wozniak with Woz Marketing, helping you navigate your yellow brick road. Have a great day, everybody.